Let's cook it up. We're making laddi pav today and these are the ingredients that we'll be needing. I'm using a hand beater. If you don't have one, you can directly knead with your hands on a workstation. First we'll mix the dry ingredients, then we're going to add oil, knead it again, and then we'll add water to bind it together. So knead it for at least 10 to 15 minutes before it's done properly. You have to stretch, pull back, spread and repeat. You have to keep it for proofing in a greased tin covered with wet muslin cloth for at least half an hour. This is the first proofing. So after first proofing, this is how it's going to look like. It's doubled up in the size. You have to gently deflate the dough, make a round long dough and then cut parts into it. I've cut 7 parts. You can cut more if you want smaller. Keep it aside for second proofing for at least 15-20 minutes. This is how it's going to look like after second proofing. Brush it with milk properly on all the sides and keep it for baking at the rate 180 degrees Celsius for at least 20 to 30 minutes. This is how it's going to look like once it's baked. Just glaze it with butter and let it cool down before using it. I store it by wrapping it in a cling film and it's done. You can use it with pav bhaji or for vada pav, it's up to you. And this is how it's going to look like on the inside. Look at those pores and the stretch. Next we are making wheat pav and these are the ingredients that we'll be needing. So you have to knead it into a dough and knead it for at least 20 minutes. Stretch, pull back, repeat manner. And cover it with a wet muslin cloth and set aside for first proofing for 1 to 2 hours. This is how it's going to look like after first proofing. Deflate it into a dough shaped like a snake. Cut it into 9 parts equally and place it on a greased tin at a little distance. This is how it's going to look like after first proofing. You can see they have risen and sticking to each other. Now brush them up with milk and keep it inside a preheated oven for at least 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius for baking. You can also toss it with some sesame seeds right now before baking if you like. This is how it's going to look once it's baked. Now brush it with butter, let it cool down completely. You can use it directly or store up to 2 days, cling wrap it and then store it. So now this is how it's going to look like on the inside. And your wheat pav is ready to be served. Let's start with the filling of vada pav. First we'll make dry garlic chutney. For this we need these ingredients. We'll start up with heating up the oil in a pan, tossing garlic for a minute. Once it starts to cook, we're going to add roasted peanuts, cook it again, turn down the stove and then let it cool down completely. Next we add in coconut, which is desiccated coconut. It will change its color, which means it's mixed well. And then we're going to add in the dry masalas and our secret ingredients bundi. Mix it well and the chutney is ready. These are the ingredients. It's a besan mix. You can make it home easily. We'll heat up the oil, add rye. Once it starts to sputter, add curry leaves, ginger, chilies, and next we add in salt and turmeric. Cook it, add mashed potatoes and make bondas once it's completely cooled. These are homemade maida pav that we'd made. Then we'll start with cutting it, layering it with green chutney and dry garlic mix, adding vada, closing it, and it's good to go. The next one up is the wheat one. These are the wheat pavs. Same process, slit it in the center, add layers of chutney, garlic powder and then the bonda, close it and it's done. So these are the two kinds we have made today: wheat vada pav, maida vada pav. Serve it with green chutney and fried chilies.